Good. Well, friends, here we are, another class, another week, same situations, but I think things are improving a little bit. Recently, I was able to walk with my family around the house, a sensation according to the circumstances. The homework for this class, if I'm not wrong, was in the student's book, page 111, exercise number 2. Check it out, just to see if I am right or wrong. Is it correct? Exercise 2, page 111.
Yes.
Good, good, very good. Well, let's check it out. It says, I want to go to the book. Give me just 1 second. The book. Here. Exercise 2, use one of the phrasal verbs from exercise number 1. And in exercise number 1, we study take over, pull in, cater for, hang around with, chill out, be up to, pop into, wear out, cut down on, come up against, come up with, and pick up. You have to select one of these phrasal verbs. And the indication says, in the correct form. Yes, use one of the phrasal verbs in the correct form in each of these sentences. Let's see number 1. I need you to switch off the microphones, please. Thank you. Well, Chantal, which is number 1, space in blank, the brilliant idea of selling her old clothes in the market on Saturday. What is the phrasal verb that you choose for this exercise number 1? Money, okay, money, no problem. Came up with, this is Paula, and this is correct, Paula, perfect. That is the verb. Chantal came up with the brilliant idea of selling her old clothes in the market on Saturday. Number 2, I'm spending far more than I can afford. I'll really have to, space in blank, the amount of shopping I do. What do you think is the adequate phrasal verb in number 2? Where for Paula is cut down and Frank cut down up. Well, cut down money. Paula, this is perfect now. This is perfect now. Cut down on. 3 elements in this expression, friends. Cut down on the amount of shopping. You have to use the on because you are telling what you are cutting down. If you don't mention what you are cutting down, on is not necessary. But as soon as I mention what is the element, what is the food, what is something that I have to cut down on, I have to use on. For example, you go to the doctor because you are suffering diabetes, and the doctor is going to tell you, hey, friend, you have to cut down on sugar. You see, because you use sugar, you have to use on. You have to cut down on sugar. You have to cut down on salt, etc., etc. So on is necessary in number 2. Let's continue with 3. My dad asked me to blank the post office and post a parcel for him. What is the adequate phrase here? For Frankie, is pop into. For Paula, is pop into the same. And that is the answer. No more answers now. Pop into is the correct expression here. Number 4, it's an enormous music shop which blank all music taste from classical music to heavy metal. What is the adequate phrasal verb here? Friends, take into account that the sentence is in present. It is in present. Take into account that the subject is a shop, a shop. So be careful with the expression you select. Caters for Frankie, caters for Paula. Excellent. The problem is the S. Very good, Paula. Very good, Frankie. You need an S. In other classes, they forgot the S. Caters for. Now, Melanie doesn't like blank her parents, so she's gone shopping on her own. What is that Melanie doesn't like? Hanging around for Paula. Hanging around with for Frankie. And that's it. Frankie's answer is perfect because he's using the preposition with. You need money. Very good. Hanging around with. You need with because you are going to mention her parents. And now the idea is complete. Melanie doesn't like hanging around with her parents. No le gusta salir con los papás. Well, 6. Shopping in Oxford Street. And the expression, the phrasal verb, is divided in 2 sections with us in medial position. Blank, us, blank. So we decided to take a taxi back to the hotel. Wore us out for Claudia. Oh, good. Claudia, hello, friend. And for Andrea, wore out. For Paula, the same, wore out. Very good. And that is the answer. Yes, yes. Your answer is perfect. Wore us out. Yes, Frankie. Yes, some people don't use us because it is in the exercise. I understand. But yes, that's the perfect. Were in past. Wore. Shopping in Oxford Street wore us out. So we decided to take a taxi back to the hotel. 7. This new film is so popular that it's been blank huge audiences. Has been what? Up to money, pulling in, Frankie, Paula, pulling in. Pulling in is the answer, yes. Atrayendo, pulling in huge audiences. Very good, pulling in. 8. They've blank an old building in the city center for their new shop. And what about this one? Taking over for Frankie, taking over for Paula. Nobody else? Okay. For money is taking over. Taking over for, yes, money. I understood, friend. I understood. They've taken over an old, yes, ocupado. Taking over an old building, blah, blah, blah. 9. I never expected to blank so many problems trying to get my mobile phone fixed. And here in number 9, Come up against for Paula. And nobody else. Paula, you are right. Come up against, tropezarme con. I never expected to come up against so many problems trying to get my mobile phone fixed. 10. Do you want to come shopping with me? I'm going to blank those red shoes I order. And in number 10, friends, pick up for Paula, pick up for Frankie boy, and nobody else. You two are correct, friends. Pick up is the correct verb here. 11. What have you blank? You should have finished the shopping by now. Been up to for Paula. Very good, Paula. Andrea, been up. Well, I don't understand that, Andrea. Yes, been up to. The question is, what have you been up to? In Spanish, ¿en qué has estado haciendo? ¿En qué has estado metida? Algo así. 12. It's a great little cafe to blank in after a hard day at school. This is a synonym of relax. Chill out for Frankie. Yes, Frankie, very good friend. Chill out is the perfect choice here. So the phrasal verb here is chill out. That was the homework, right? Andrea, yes, chill out. So friends, I want you to know that on page number 111, you have a list of 12 phrasal verbs that are extremely important for you in your future exams, because what Cambridge does is what they are giving you by small doses the phrasal verbs they use in their exams. I remember that we have already studied all the list of phrasal verbs in previous units because they are dosifying the number of phrasal verbs in every 2 or 3 units for you to have chance of studying and reinforce these phrasal verbs. Don't forget them because they are going to be important for your exam. There is an exercise dealing with phrasal verbs, but not in the student's book, in the workbook. Let's have a look to exercise number 3, page 41 in the workbook, because we continue with phrasal verbs. I'm going to show you the page. This one. Exercise 3, phrasal verbs, workbook, page 41. For this exercise, maybe, I am not sure because many students are very good in phrasal verbs, but most of you will need to use a dictionary or translator because you have to choose. Observe the example. When I moved out of my parents' home into my first flat, I got into big trouble with money. I never looked at my bank statements, los extractos, you know. I knew my salary was paid, and now the problem, paid back or paid in? What is the difference? So you take the dictionary and you know the meaning of paid back and the meaning of pay in, and the correct in these circumstances, in this context, is paid in every month, right? And what about the rest? Because they are exactly 11. Please take your dictionaries and now do the exercise. Don't rush. Take your time. And when you finish, send me a message for me to know and check it. Andrea, finished? And Manny finished? Paula finished? Very good. George finished? And Frank finished? Very good, friends. Let's check it. If our answer is incorrect, nothing happens. We learn. He says, when I moved out of my parents' home into my first flat, I got into big trouble with money. I never looked at my bank statements. I knew my salary was paid in every month, but I just took out however much I needed. So is in number 2, out. I sometimes even gave money in number 3, in or away. What is your opinion? For Andrea is away. For George is away also. For Claudia is away. Yes. And for Frankie, away. Correct, friends. Is gave, because it is in past, gave money away to friends who didn't have enough. The stupid thing was that I worked in the foreign exchange department of a large bank, so I spent all day checking which currency had gone on or up. On for Andrea, up for Paula, up for George. For Frankie is up, and up is the correct answer. Gone up, subido. And which had come down or come out? Down for Paula, and for George, and for Andrea too, down. Claudia, down, yes. Yes, down is correct. Come down, but I never bother to look at my own account. Of course, I soon ran down of money or ran out of money. Out for Andrea, out for George, Frankie out. Correct, out, ran out. Ran out of money means that I didn't have more money. Ran out of money and I started to build on or build up a large debt. Up for Andrea, and for Frankie up too. George up, and for Paula is up. Very good. Up is the correct answer. Build up a large debt. I realized that I had to cut back or cut off. Back for Andrea, back for Paula. For Frankie is cut back. And George, yes, friends, cut back and go out or go without some things. Without for Andrea, and for Paula is also without. George, without. And Frankie, without. Yes, without is the correct choice here. Eventually, I paid out or I paid off my debt. What do you think? Out or off? Off for Andrea. Off for Frankie. Off for George and Paula. Very good. Paid off my debt. Now I sit down every month and add up or add up, add up or add up to for Andrea, up for Paula, up for Frankie. And up is the correct answer. Yes, it is up. How much I've spent and compare it with how much money I have. More expressions, more phrasal verbs to study. Phrasal verbs, you know, are fantastic when we speak and in the exams. However, when we write, we normally try not to use phrasal verbs because they are not very formal, you know, but they are fantastic because if I don't know the phrasal verbs, I never will be able to speak English. Well, friends, and now what? Let's go to the same workbook, the same page 41, the exercise you have on the left. Let me show you this. This exercise here on the left, exercise shopping number 2. This is our next exercise. It says, read a conversation which took place in a sports shop and choose one word from the box, and in the box you have bargain, brand, catalog, chain, competitor, counter, guarantee, refund, sale, and stock. Again, the book is trying to give me more and more vocabulary for me to speak and write. You have to use one of these elements to fill in the blanks, and you have 10 blanks in the conversation between the manager and Emma. So again, for you to work, you know, relaxed, I'm going to switch off my microphone in order to avoid interrupting you. Take your time, but please send me a message when you finish for me to check it and give you the right answers.
Jerry, sorry, I was in a toilet. Can you repeat the exercise, please?
Yes, friend, looking on page 41 in the workbook, page 41, we finished exercise 3, but on the left hand, we have chopping exercise 2, and we are doing this exercise now. I repeat, chopping
Okay, thanks so
exercise 2.
much.
Okay, good.
Okay, thanks so much.
Paula, finished? Mike and Frankie finished? And George? The exercise says, so Emma, I'm going to show you around before you start work here. I'm looking forward to working in a sports shop. Good. As you know, we are part of a chain. There are nearly 200 of our stores across the country, and we are one of the biggest. We do have somewhat. Do you know the word? For Andrea is competitor, Frankie, competitor, Paula, competitor, and Andrea is winning because she uses the plural that we need here. Yes, yes, competitors is the answer. You need the S, right? Because there are some competitors in the town, though, so we have to watch our prices. Everyone comes in looking for a blank. A what? Bergen for Paula, Bergen for Claudia, and Frankie Boy, Bergen. Yes, friends. Yes, George. Bergen is correct. A Bergen. And they won't come back here if they find something cheaper elsewhere. And of course, we have a big blank twice a year. A big blank twice a year. A big what? What do you think is the answer here? Sale for Mike, sale for Paula, sale for Claudia. Yes, friends. Yes, George, sale. A big sale twice a year when we reduce everything. That's very busy time. Do you keep everything in blank, or do customers sometimes have to order things? Stock for Andrea in number 5. In number 5, stock for Frankie. Stock for Claudia and Paula. Yes, very good. In stock. The manager continues the conversation. We keep most of the main blank here, but we also blah, blah, blah. So in number 6, catalog for Andrea, counter for Claudia, brands for Frankie Boy, catalog for George, brands for Paula. Aha, Mike brands. Friends, the answer is brands in plural. Yes, brands. Very good, friends. We keep most of the main brands here, but we also have a catalog. Catalog, yes, Jorge. Catalog in number 7 is the correct answer. Catalog that people can look through while they are in the shop, or they can order from our website. On the number 8. On the counter for Mike, counter for Paula. Counter for George. Counter is the correct answer. Very good, friends. The counter here by the till, we keep lots of small items that customers often pick up while they are waiting to pay. One other thing about us, and it's important to tell customers this, we offer a 2-year what? Guarantee for George, guarantee for Andrea. Yes, guarantee is the answer on all the equipment we sell. So if anything goes wrong, we'll give customer a full blank or exchange. Refund, Andrea. Refund, George. And who else? Nobody else. Refund is the correct answer, right? So listen again. In number 2, competitors. In number 3, Bergen. In number 4, sale. In number 5, stock. In number 6, brands. In number 7, catalog. In number 8, counter. In number 9, guarantee. And in number 10, refund. Good work, friends. The majority of you have done a very good work. So let's go on. I want you to watch a video because I want to comment on the video at the end of it. So I'm going to attach here the video that I want you to watch. Give me just a second. Here. Let's see if you agree or disagree with this. And what's your opinion about this video? What's your opinion, friends? Do you agree with the video? Okay, okay. Okay, Andrea. Finished? Okay, good. Very good. I want to hear the opinion of one of the girls. Maybe Andrea, maybe Claudia, I don't know, Paula. What's your opinion about the point of view of this video? I would like you to use your microphone and tell me, speaking, your opinion about this video. Claudia, Andrea, Paula, what do you think about it?
Well, I agree with the video. I feel very identified with it.
Yes, identified.
Sorry.
Identified. You feel identified. There is something I don't like it about it. You know, it's at the end, because at the end of the video, I don't know why, tries to tell that the man is the person who pays everything they buy, like if the man is the person with the money, not the woman. And this part of the video is something I didn't like about it. You know, because nowadays women and men work the same and they have the same rights and the same money. So this is the part that I think is not adequate, because the rest is okay. Thank you very much. I want to hear the opinion of one of the boys, maybe Frankie or Manny or George. Friends, what's your opinion about the video? Do you agree, disagree, or is it okay, or regular, or what?
I agree, but I am with you because I am disagree in something. For example, men also can see the magazines and they are not objectives, you know, in the shop. So can be if you like some shirt that somebody has. Uh, you can buy, for example.
Yes.
I don't know how to say.
No, but that's okay. Yes, I understand what you say, George. I agree with you, friend. I agree with you. Maybe the problem is that logically the investigations are based on majority. You know what the majority
Yes, in general, maybe yes, but
but not in particular, yes, because there are men who loves buying clothes and shoes and going shopping and reading magazines about fashion. Why not? And there are girls who don't like shopping. It can happen, but in general, more or less, this is the way it is in general.
yes, of course.
Thank you very
Yes.
much, friend. Thank you for your participation. Thank you. Well, now let's study some grammar. Yes, because in this unit number 10, Cambridge is interested in teaching modal verbs. We have studied modal verbs previously in this unit. I remember that we studied, for example, modal verb expressing possibility, yes, expressing, what was the other thing we studied some units ago? Possibility, expressing certainty, and we study must and can and may and might. Today, we are going to study the modal verbs that we use to express ability. So it would be a good idea to take our student's book and go to page number 170. I repeat, the student's book, page 170. Let's see if I can find it here for you to see it in the screen. Here it is. Maybe you can see it in the screen. If not, use your own book. Expressing ability, page 170 in your student's book. Expressing ability. To say something has an ability, we use can for affirmative or can't for negative. And in the past, we use could, affirmative past, couldn't, negative past. And sometimes we use be able to, because remember that can is a synonym of be able to. Si yo puedo, yo soy capaz. In Spanish, we make a big difference between can and be able to, but in English it's very, similar. And it says, in the present, we use can or am, is, are, depending on the subject. I am, he is, we are able to express ability. An ability, for example, is speak English. So in English, I can say I can speak English, or I am able to speak English. I am expressing ability with can or able to. Similar thing. But the reality is that we most of the time prefer using can because it's only one word. Be able to are three words. Be able to, yes, three words. And you have to be careful with your grammar. So normally people prefer can. I continue. It says, can't or am not, is not, are not able to for things in present, but which are not possible. That is negative form. Can't, am not, he isn't, she isn't, we aren't able to. Example, Liz can speak 5 languages, but she can't speak Russian. See that? Affirmative and negative, can, can't, because we are speaking in present. The doctor's able to see you now, but she isn't able to see you tomorrow. See that? I can say the doctor can. The doctor can see you now, but she can't see you tomorrow. It's the same. It's just the same. Why able in this situation? Because able is considered to be more formal. And you are at the doctor's office. We are not confident, we are not friends, so it's more formal. Able to is adequate for these circumstances. So you have two examples here, in present, affirmative and negative. Using can in normal situations, able to in more formal situations. You have a note. Observe the note. We usually use can and can't when speaking because they are shorter. You see what I told you? Son más cortas, are shorter and less formal, you see, than able to. In the past, we use could only when speaking in general. So in past, we have to be careful. Could only when we speak in general. Observe the example of general use. When I was a child, I could read without glasses. So this is something that I was able to do in the past when I was a child in general terms for many, many years. It's very general this. I can use could as a past of can expressing ability. If I mention something that I was able to do only once or twice, but no more, not general, not repeatedly in the past, I can't use could. See that? For example, imagine that I was living in California and my grandmother lived in Florida. I was not able to see my grandmother every day. Only when she visited me in 1975, right? It happened only in 1975, twice when she was visiting my uncle in California. So it's not general. In that case, I select was able to, because it was not repeated. It was, I repeat, twice in 1975. In that case, I said, I was able to see my grandmother in California when she visited us in 1975. I was able to do it. No, I could. No, because it was not repeated. My grandmother didn't live next to my house. Right? Imagine that my grandmother lived next to my house and I was able to see her constantly every day. In that case, I use could. When I was 10 years old in 1975, I could see my grandmother every night when I finished school, etc., 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 because it was something general, repeated in the past. Could. Something that happened only once or twice, no more, was able to. Now I continue reading. Was or were able to when speaking about something someone succeeded in doing on one particular occasion. See, for example, Dad didn't have any money on him, but fortunately he was able to use his credit card to pay the bill. It happened once, una vez, once. So we cannot use could. Couldn't and wasn't or weren't. Why to? You know, she wasn't able to, I wasn't able to, you weren't able to, we weren't able to. So two options according to the subject of the sentence. So we can use could and was, negative, wasn't able or weren't able to when speaking in general and also when speaking about one particular occasion. Pascual wasn't able to or couldn't do all the questions in the math exams. We are speaking about one particular occasion. If I say exactly when, in the math exam that happened last week, If I don't use that expression, it is impossible. We have to use wasn't. Olga couldn't ride a bike till she was 18, or Olga wasn't able to ride a bike till she was 18. When talking about ability, we use can only in the present and could only in the past. For perfect and future tenses, we use able to. Interesting. For example, I've been very busy, so I haven't been able to finish reading. No he podido terminar, no he podido. This is present perfect. When you translate, you use I haven't been able. It is impossible to say I haven't could. It doesn't exist in English. I haven't been able to finish reading the novel. Is present perfect, being able to. When you finish the course, you'll be able to speak English really well. When you use the future, you cannot use can because can is never used in future. We have to use the synonym of can, able to. Will be able to. So we have two circumstances in which can or could are not possible to be used. This is the present perfect. We use the synonym able to. And the other one is the future for going to, because future is not only will. Future can be going to. We use be able to. I'm not going to be able to visit you tonight. See, it's future. I cannot use can. Any question? ¿Alguna duda? There is another note at the end of this line. It says, note, we don't use be able to in the continuous. Estoy siendo capaz de, no, in English, no. I am being able to, no. Present continuous or past continuous with able to, it's impossible to be done. I continue now in the column on the right. We use be able to after an infinitive. For example, she hopes to, you have the to, able to, because can is not possible. She hopes to be able to study medicine. Ella espera tener la posibilidad de estudiar medicina when she goes to university. We use be able to after modal verbs. Might, should, made, etc. Because we never use two modal verbs together. So might can or should can or may can't. It's impossible because you are repeating two modal verbs. You are placing two modal verbs together, and this is not possible in English. So if you have a might or a should, you have to be able to. You should be able to finish the work today. Now, examples of this, if I'm free this weekend, I might be able to help you paint your house. In Spanish, the translation is confusing. Si estoy libre este fin de semana, podría ayudarte a pintar. Podría, ya con eso solo está implícito el ser capaz. It's a very special translation for this. When you finish this course, you should be able to speak English very well. Aquí la traducción es un poquito más adecuada. Cuando hayas terminado este curso, deberías ser capaz de hablar inglés muy bien. We usually use can and the past could with see, hear, smell, feel, and taste. The senses. Yes, see, hear, smell, feel, and taste. So can or could are possible with it. You can hear, you could hear, you can smell, you could smell, etc., etc. From the top of the mountain, we could see 4 miles. See that? Podíamos ver, could see. I can hear a strange noise coming from upstairs. Can hear. However, we use manage when we succeed in doing something quite difficult to do. That's again a problem. En vez de puedo, dicen que utilizamos manage, que en español no haya traducción, pero lo más cercano es me las arreglé para, me las arreglé, me las agencié para. Cuando hemos logrado hacer algo que fue bastante difícil de hacer. En ese caso, en vez de yo pude hacerlo, no, me las agencié, me las arreglé para hacerlo. Tengan eso en cuenta. Example, I know you've been busy, but did you manage to phone my mom? ¿Ah? En vez de pudiste, could you, no, did you manage? No sé qué se dirá en España, porque a lo mejor te las arreglaste, a lo mejor no pega aquí, pero esa es la idea. Yo creo que incluso un buen traductor aquí traduciría pudiste y obvia el manage porque no es usual en español. Sé que has estado muy, ¿qué se dice en España? Muy liado. Sé que has estado muy liado, pero oye, ¿pudiste llamar a mi mamá por teléfono? O sea, la traducción es normal. El lío es cuando yo tenga que de español llevarlo a inglés. Ese es el momento. Y es lo que ustedes van a tener que hacer mucho más adelante. Todo el mundo va a querer que ustedes le digan al inglés algo que ellos, por no haber estudiado idiomas, no pueden. Y te dicen, oye, por favor, Frank, por favor, Paula, dile que si pudo llamar por fin a mi mamá. Sé que es difícil, pero si pudo. Ya saben que fue difícil. Manage. Did you manage to phone her mother? Así que un pudiste que conlleva trabajo porque era difícil, es mejor usar manage. Eso es lo que quiere decir el libro. He managed to pass the exam, although he was feeling ill when he did it. ¿Ven los problemas que hubo? Se sentía mal cuando el examen. Y así todo lo pasó. En vez de he could pass the exam, como fue laborioso, en inglés escogemos managed. He managed to pass the exam. Se las arregló para pasar el examen a pesar de estar enfermo cuando lo hizo. You have another note. Could is not possible in this example. He could pass the exam although he was feeling... Aquí no es posible. Estoy hablando del pasado, de algo, una habilidad que él pudo resolver y pasó solamente una vez en un examen. Esto ocurrió en un examen que él estaba enfermo. Entonces ya no tiene ¿cómo se dice? No cumple las reglas del uso de could. Could en pasado para expresar una habilidad, repito, es porque repetidamente en el pasado lo hacías. When I was young, when I was a kid, I could run very fast. When I was 7 years old, I could play with toys. Era algo que lo hacía muy repetido, could. Si fue algo que pude hacer una o dos veces, was able to. Si es futuro, able to, porque con will no puedo usar can. Si es present perfect, able to, no puedo usar can. Si me ponen un modal, may, might, could, able to, no puedo poner dos modales juntos y can es un modal. Y si might es otro, ya dos juntos nunca lo verán ustedes en inglés. Okay, friends, well, this is a blah, 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 but it is necessary because sometimes if you study alone by yourselves, this explanation, and you don't have a person to help you, it could be difficult, I think. Maybe not, but I prefer helping you before doing exercises. Now, the idea is that you do some exercises in your book. Let's go to page 112, exercise 2. 112, exercise 2. this exercise here. Circle the correct form of the verb in italics in each of these sentences. They give you two options, one with can and one with able to, one with could or was able to, and you have to select the adequate. Let's do it. When you finish, send me a message. Frankie, finished? George finished, Manny finished. Paula finished, Mike finished. Let's check it is. Okay, friends, it says, circle the correct form of the verb in italics in each of these sentences. And in number one, you have, we walked all day, and at 5 o'clock, yes, and at 5 o'clock, and you have two options. We could reach the top of the mountain, or we were able to reach the top of the mountain. What do you think is the adequate here? Were able for Andrea, were able to for Frankie boy, were able Paula, yes, yes, George, were able, correct, correct. It was difficult. 2, I was so worried that I, two options, couldn't sleep or couldn't have slept. What's your opinion? Couldn't, yes, but couldn't sleep or couldn't have slept, Andrea? The problem is that I couldn't sleep or I couldn't have slept. That is what you have to tell me. Couldn't sleep for Paula, couldn't sleep for Andrea. And for the boys, no more answers. Okay, couldn't sleep is the correct answer. Thank you very much. 3, when I was a small child, two options. I could sing beautifully or I was able to sing beautifully. Could or for Frankie is could, for Andrea is could. For Paula is could also. Similar to George, could. Yes, friends, could is the correct answer in number 3. Now, 4, can you hear the neighbor's television or are you able to hear the neighbor's television? What's your opinion in number 4? Can, for Andrea, and no more answers. Andrea, correct, is can. Can you hear the neighbor's television? Is far too loud. 5, two options. I could buy my tablet PC or I could have bought my tablet PC. Could have for Andrea. Could have bought for George. Yes, bought is important here, Andrea. Could have bought, Frankie boy. Me too, could have bought, Paula. Thank you, thank you. That's the correct answer is could have bought. I could have bought my tablet PC more cheaply online, but in fact, I bought it from my local computer shop. 6, although the shop was very crowded, we could or we were able to get the shopping done quite quickly. What do you think? Were able to for Frankie, were able to for George, were able to Andrea? Yes, because it was difficult. So were able to is the perfect choice. Very good, friends. Now, what is going to be the homework? The homework are exercises 3 and 4 on page 112. That is the rest of the exercises dealing with this topic of expressing ability with modal verbs. I'm going to copy here the homework for you to keep it. Homework, exercises 2 is 3 and 4. 3, 4, yes, page 112. Is the homework clear, friends? Yes, very good, George. Well, friends, in this class today, we have studied phrasal verbs that are going to be very important for you in the future. Please, they are the phrasal verbs you have on page 111, right? Maybe you remember that we studied some other phrasal verbs in previous units. They are preparing you for the exam. They are preparing you for our final exam. So that they are important for you to study these phrasal verbs. And now we study how to express ability using can for present, could for past, and the negative form, can't, couldn't. We studied that able to is a synonym of that, and you can use it in some occasions when can is not possible, future and present perfect, right? That is, next class, I'm going to begin by checking these exercises 3 and 4, page 112. Thank you very much, friends. Have a beautiful evening, and see you again next Thursday. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, friend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, friends.